Good morning, all of you. This is 12th class biology, lecture 1 of chapter 7 Evolution. In today's lecture, you will learn about the origin of universe, origin of earth, and theories of origin of life. First of all, you need to know what is evolution. So evolution is a gradual change, means a continuous change over a period of time is called evolution, and evolution is a continuous process. Evolutionary biology is the study of history of life forms on earth, means all the life forms which are present on earth. If we study the history of all those life, then it is called evolutionary biology. Origin of universe. So one of the theory for origin of universe is the Big Bang theory, and according to this theory, the universe originated about 20 billion years ago. Means universe is 20 billion years old. And how it originated? By a thermonuclear explosion. Okay, a huge explosion occurred, due to which different galaxies, different planets and solar system was formed. And this theory was called Big Bang theory, that due to this huge explosion, different planets and galaxies are formed. Then origin of earth. After the Big Bang theory, uh, earth along with other planets is believed to have been born 4.5 billion years ago. So you can say earth is 4.5 billion years old, and it originated as a solidified cloud of dust and gases left over from the creation of the sun after the Big Bang. So after the Big Bang, what happened? Solar system was formed, and in the solar system, a planet Earth was formed. So what were the conditions on the primitive Earth when the Earth was formed about 4.5 billion years ago? What were the conditions? How was the atmosphere? So there was no atmosphere on early Earth. Water vapor, methane CH4, carbon dioxide and ammonia released from molten mass covered the surface. Released from molten mass means where a Big Bang theory means a huge explosion occurred, the dense mass, molten mass. So from there all these gases released, and these covered the atmosphere of these covered the surface of earth. These were present in the earth. Now what happened? These water vapors react with the UV rays, okay, from the sun. UV rays came and reacted with the water vapors, and it converted into H2 plus O2. Then some of the oxygen from here combined with ammonia and some with methane. So when the oxygen combined with ammonia, it converted into water, and when methane combined with oxygen, then it converted into carbon dioxide. So later on, water and carbon dioxide also formed on the earth. Now high in atmosphere, some oxygen molecules absorbed energy from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Right, some of the oxygen molecules which were present on the earth, they absorb sun's ultraviolet rays, energy from the sun's ultraviolet rays, and split to form the single oxygen atom. Now these atoms combined with the molecular oxygen, means O, single atom of oxygen combined with this molecular oxygen O2, and form ozone, that is O3. So O plus O2 formed ozone. So ozone layer was formed later on the earth. On the primitive earth there was no ozone layer. It was formed later like this. As it cooled, as the temperature came down on the earth, water vapor fell down. Okay, water vapor converted into water and fell down as rain to fill the depressions, and oceans were formed like this. Now, the earth is forever changing. This is the condition of earth 4.6 billion years ago, means the primitive earth. When the earth was formed, the atmosphere was different, but now earth's atmosphere is different. So there is a lot of difference between the primitive earth and the modern earth. Theories of origin of life. Next topic is, now after the formation of earth, how the life originated on earth. So there are different theories for the origin of life on earth. First is theory of abiogenesis, then biogenesis theory, then theory of panspermia, then creationism theory, then chemical evolution theory. So these are different theories for the origin of life on earth. First is abiogenesis theory, that is also called theory of spontaneous generation, and this theory states that life came out of decaying and rotting matter like straw, mud, etc. So this theory says that life arised spontaneously from the dead and decaying organic matter like straw and mud. Okay, this theory says that life can originate spontaneously from the mud. But this theory was discarded by the Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur demonstrated that life comes only from pre-existing life and life cannot originate spontaneously. So he disapproved this theory. Which theory? Theory of spontaneous generation. It was disapproved by Louis Pasteur on the basis of some experiment. He showed that in pre-sterilized flask, pre-sterilized means free of any microbe, sterilized means free of all the microbes. So he took pre-sterilized flask and he observed that life did not come from killed yeast, while in another flask open to air, new living organisms arose. So he noticed here, he took two different flasks. Pre-sterilized flask he took, means free of microbe flask he took, and in first one there was no contact with the air. Okay, it was completely closed flask. Inside the flask he took killed yeast. Okay, and as the theory of according to the theory of spontaneous generation, there should be origination of life inside the flask after some time. Okay, but there was no origin of life after some time. In the second flask, when he allowed this flask to come in contact with the air, microbial growth was seen. So Louis Pasteur said that from the air some microbe has entered inside the flask, due to which life originated inside the flask. Not only the killed yeast is able to originate the life. Killed yeast, you can say, a type of dead and decaying matter. Okay, so he disapproved the theory of spontaneous generation, which says that life can originate from the dead and decaying matter. Next theory of origin of life is theory of biogenesis, and this theory states that life originates from pre-existing life. This theory was proposed by Redi, Francisco Redi, Splangeni and Louis Pasteur. So all these gave the theory of biogenesis, that life can originate only from the pre-existing life. Then how the first cell, first life appear on the earth, it was still a mystery. Then One more theory for the origin of life is cosmic theory, that is also called theory of panspermia. And this theory states that the units of life are spores. These were transferred to different planets, including Earth, from the different parts of universe. Okay, so according to this theory, that some spores, some unit of life has come on Earth from any unknown source. Okay, and these spores germinate to give rise to the life. Now, theory of special creation. According to this theory, everything that is living or non-living that is present on the earth was created by some supernatural power, that is God. Then next theory is theory of chemical evolution. And theory of chemical evolution was proposed by Operin and Haldane. It states that first form of life was originated from pre-existing non-living inorganic and organic molecules such as methane, ammonia, water, sugars, proteins, nucleic acids, etc. So according to this theory, non-living organic and inorganic molecules make the life. Means these molecules can combine to form a cell and to form a living organism. And this theory was given by Haldane and Operin. And this is called Operin and Haldane theory of chemical evolution. And this now a time this is the most acceptable theory for the origin of life. Now, abiogenesis first, but biogenesis ever since. Let's discuss the theory of chemical evolution given by Operin and Haldane, because this is the most acceptable theory. So let's discuss it in detail. So according to this theory, first of all, free atoms were present on the earth. Okay, these free atoms were in the form of like hydrogen free atom, oxygen atoms, carbon atoms, nitrogen atoms and sulfur atoms. These were present on the primitive earth. After that, these atoms combined together to form the inorganic molecules, like hydrogen atoms combined to form the hydrogen molecule. Then hydrogen atom and oxygen atom combined to form the water molecules. Then also carbon dioxide molecules formed due to combination of oxygen and carbon atoms. Likewise, many carbon atoms combined together to form the oxygen molecule. So simple inorganic molecules were formed by the combination of free atoms. After that, these inorganic molecules combined together to form the simple organic molecules like amino acids, purines and pyrimidines, those are nitrogenous bases. Okay, also simple sugars were formed like monosaccharides. So these type of simple organic molecules were formed due to combinations of different inorganic molecules. After that, these simple inorganic molecules combine to form the complex organic molecules like many amino acids when combined together make the proteins. Likewise, monosaccharides combine together to form the polysaccharides, those are carbohydrates. Then purines and pyrimidines when combined with the phosphate they made the nucleotides. Like this, the complex organic molecules were formed. These all the complex organic molecules like proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, combinedly they form a structure, and that structure was called protocells. That was not a complete cell-like structure, but all the complex organic molecules were present surrounded by the water. Okay, and that kind of structure was called protocell. After some time, this protocell converted into prokaryotic cell due to some interaction inside that. And after the formation of prokaryotic cell, with time it converted into a complex cell and made the eukaryotic cells, and the eukaryotes were formed. And with time, then multicellular organisms were formed. So this is the theory of Oprin and Haldane. Based on today's topics, this is your homework. First question is differentiate conditions on primitive Earth and modern Earth. And question number 2, who gave theory of chemical evolution? Write down the main postulates of this theory.